Everyone shouts about Yamal or Ró-Finíha or Lewandowski, but the real secret of Barcelona's future is not who you think. At 22, Pedri is not just almost like Iniesta. He's already doing what Iniesta never even dreamed of. His shoulders are relaxed. His gaze constantly scans the pitch, as if he has been playing professional football for 15 years. This is not just talent. This is a frightening reality. While Gavi spent 11 years honing his craft in the legendary La Masia, soaking up Barca philosophy, Pedri was simply that guy from the Canary Islands. Not a wunderkind, not an academy star, just a kid playing for Las Palmas, a club Europe had barely heard of. Iniesta was raised from childhood in an academy, taught positional play and control from his earliest years. Pedri, on the other hand, came from the streets, from the reserve Spanish league. And yet, when he received the ball, his body was open, his eyes on the field, and it looked as though that same DNA ran through his veins. A few weeks after arriving at Barcelona, Koeman simply threw Pedri into the starting 11. Age 17, crisis at the club, colossal pressure. But instead of hiding, he made the ball his shield. Every pass calm, every decision precise. It didn't look like a debut. It looked like déjà vu, as if Iniesta quietly returned simply in a new body. Try pressing him, and you'll understand what defenders feared when Iniesta played against them. The ball seems to stick to his boots. Double teaming doesn't work. He simply moves his hips, turns, uses a false touch. He doesn't break the press by brute force. He dissects it with geometry. At 18, he became the youngest player in history to start in a European Championship playoff match. He dragged Spain's midfield through Euro overtime. Luis Enrique didn't see him as a kid. He built the entire system around him. Pedri responded with 76 progressive carries, the best result of the tournament. He entered the symbolic team of the tournament and became best young player of the championship. A few months later, Pedri won the Golden Boy 2021 ahead of Bellingham and Musiala. And not just one, he amassed 318 points, 3 times more than Bellingham. If you look at club numbers, they are no less crazy. By age 20, Pedri had already played over 100 matches for Barcelona and Spain. In the 2022-23 La Liga season, Pedri averaged 7.4 progressive passes per match. For comparison, Iniesta's peak figure in the 08-09 season was about 6.8. Pedri ranked among Europe's top 5 midfielders for distance. His passes carry the ball forward. The Champions League tells the same story. In his first 20 matches in the tournament, Pedri averaged 2.5 key passes and 6.1 progressive carries per game, figures that Iniesta only reached closer to age 30. Against Napoli in 2022, he made 57 accurate passes, 4 chances created. This isn't the stat of a talented junior. This is top player numbers. And when the pressure was maximal, for example, in El Clásico at the Bernabeu, Pedri clocked 96% pass accuracy and provided the winning assist, overshadowing the influence, even of Modric and Kroos. But the scariest thing, it's the consistency. Analysts use a metric of negative impact games, when a midfielder's pass accuracy drops below 80%. Guess how many such matches Pedri had all season? 0. None. Even Iniesta in his best years had 2 to 3 such matches per season. This is not potential. This is already result. This is elite level, even by legendary standards. The word tactical genius is often overused. But watch Pedri for just 90 minutes, and you'll understand it is not an exaggeration. He doesn't play for highlights or flashy dribbles. He builds the game on decisions. Hundreds of small decisions, each of which he makes a split second before anyone else even realizes what the problem was. In defense, Pedri impresses too. He doesn't always sprint everywhere because he reads the game. He understands angles, timing, intercepts, and returns balls in midfield. It's part of his DNA. He may cover slightly fewer meters than other midfielders, but he occupies the correct positions. And that too is a form of leadership. Yes, he is young, but teammates already note how he organizes the press, how he calmly asks for the ball when the pitch turns chaotic. In high-pressure matches in Clásicos or Champions League knockouts, Pedri already starts to control the tempo of space. So even veterans are forced to respect his rhythm. Such a level of football intelligence is rare. And now, when you know all these facts, the question emerges. If Pedri is so good, why is there so little talk about him? Why aren't there millions of TikTok cut-ups of his play? The answer lies in timing and perception. The spotlight at Camp Nou long ago shifted elsewhere. First to Gavi, the wunderkind who fights like a street fighter and celebrates like a rock star. Then to Yamal, who already breaks records. A world obsessed with highlights finds it easier to sell Gavi's heavy tackles or Yamal's dribbles than the invisible work of a metronome. He doesn't blast from 30 yards, and he doesn't score hat tricks. He changes the angle of play with a 5-yard pass. Modern analytics see it. In Barca's game, Pedri creates 0.18 expected goals per minute with the ball, and without him, only 0.11. But to the average viewer, it looks like simply a safe pass. The magic lies not in one moment, but in a chain of actions. Pedri himself doesn't help the hype. He hardly runs social media, doesn't give loud interviews, lives quietly in a Barcelona suburb. Forbes calculated footballers' social engagement, and Pedri didn't even make the top 50, despite having over 6 million followers. While EPL stars post every dribble, the gap in visibility becomes obvious. Moreover, the global interest in La Liga has dropped after the exits of Messi and Ronaldo. Viewer ratings fall, while the Premier League breaks records. Pedri might dominate in El Clasico, but even some Arsenal players scoring a brace on a Saturday will draw more views globally, and then injuries. In 2022, he played only 26 matches. In the 2023-24 season, just 19. When he was absent, Barca collected 0.42 fewer points per game. Pedri perfectly executes long diagonals, switching flank to flank. The accuracy of his diagonals keeps him among Spain's best young midfielders. And when he needs to cut lines, his vision becomes especially sharp. Under heavy pressing, he manages to send the pass where most don't even look. We all know predicting greatness in football is dangerous business. Injuries, transfers, tactical chaos. One season and the whole career can spin off. But with Pedri, this feels different. Not like a prediction, but like inevitability. In the Barcelona dressing room, he is already seen as the future captain. Teammates recount how he asks for the ball in the hardest moments, how he corrects defense positioning mid-match, how he behaves with veteran confidence. When Busquets handed over the captain's armband in a friendly, Pedri was among the first young ones to be trusted with it. Leadership doesn't wait for him to finish the journey. It's already here. Awards are only a matter of time. Voters for the Ballon d'Or love numbers, but even more, stories. Pedri has both. If Barca returns to the Continental Summit in the next 3 years, at the center of that team will be him, and the Ballon d'Or always finds the conductor of the orchestra who wins. Pedri is the pillar around which we are building the team, said the sporting director of Barca. The release clause is over €1 billion. Only those who are unsellable get such numbers. A crisis might force anyone out, but not Pedri. The same genius that once conquered Europe is now in a new body. Pedri doesn't just inherit Iniesta, he honors his legacy. The greatest midfielder of Barcelona may not belong to the past. He is just playing now, in the body of a 22-year-old kid with a child's smile and radar in his legs. The world simply hasn't understood it yet.